Hey Google, Alexa, add 1 minute to timer.
1 minute added. You now have about 20 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Alright, so we're going to be starting on a warm-up set now. Today's class subject is going to be continuity from what we did yesterday. Don't worry if you're just jumping in, because you'll be able to pick right up pretty quickly with what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing at least 2 sets of time poses. This first warm-up set, you can do whatever and just get your hand and eye warmed up. I'm going to jump into Magna Studio and join you guys. Try to keep it to around 2 people per panel. Don't count me in those panels, by the way. In the Magna Studio shared drawing app. What Magna Studio is, for the newcomers here, is it's a tool that lets you just draw and collaborate with people online. And we've been using it for our classes here. Today we're going to be covering the structure that Ethan Becker had in one of his most recent videos on the subject of simplified forms of the torso that you can use to like invent new poses and stuff. We did a bunch of studies last night. We're going to spend maybe the next few days actually getting fluent with that approach. So we can like attach limbs to the figures and like repose them and so on. I'm going to actually play the video, or part of the video anyway. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but I'll give you people the link to check it out and play it alongside what we're doing here. But we're going to be doing yesterday we concentrated on like step 1. What the video suggests that we do, with how we approach the torsos. Today we're going to be focused on step 2. But we'll be getting into that. For now, just get warmed up. Get your hand and eye going. I'm going to get warmed up on like some figure puppets that I've been using a lot. Some of my poses are going to be invented, and some of them are going to be from the on-screen reference, or riffing on the on-screen reference a little bit. It's one of the names of the game today. It's going to be a little bit of figure invention. So start trying to wrap your head around the idea that you're going to potentially like repose limbs and stuff. So like, as you can see, I didn't really copy the pose that's on screen, but I used it a little bit to kind of riff, make my own pose. Like I used some foreshortening here on this arm. This is very, very different positions for the hands and arms compared to what's on screen for the pose. I'm just getting warmed up. Also, I think that voice chat is enabled in classroom chat. It's not, please let me know. But it should be, and people should be welcome to speak up.
Hello.
Hey. Good, it is working. Alright, so we're just getting warmed up.
Hello.
Hey. So I just want to remind the people that are showing up in voice, you can, I have my own streaming, my own main screens, drawing screens streaming in real time through Discord, but you have to go to Twitch in order to like see the time poses that we're going to be using and other things that are going to be relevant. So you're going to see how that works out. Because there's going to be a bit of a delay compared to the a little bit of a delay between the two. I sometimes use webcam, but like that I sometimes use like virtual webcam and stuff, but that like limits the number of people that can be in the room. It's a little annoying. It's one of those annoying little Discord things. So thing that we practiced previously, like using Ethan's video, with like there's one other Ethan video that we used kind of extensively, like a month or two ago. And that was his face wedge video. And we all those of us who were shit. Okay, I got the Magma Studio bug again, where it suddenly decides it doesn't want to register my pants. I think I know kind of why it does that. So. It's usually because there's a lot of idiotic, like, background things back here that I have to close out. This off screen here. I have to reset the thing a bunch before I start registering again. So it's annoying. Like there seems to be some kind of weird Chrome thing where like when I have other windows for other things behind the browser, it sometimes registers it behind them, and then suddenly the apps just stops registering my pen for a little bit. I reset it a few times, but we should be good now. So there's a couple helpful videos I found that I'm gonna point people in the direction of. I don't know if we'll be playing them during the stream, but I think there are ones that I would definitely play off stream for like a study session or something, or I would encourage people on their own time to watch them. One of them is a recent Proco video that actually has the guy from Drawbox. And you know, gosh darn it, what he talks about in that video and stuff, like, I think I really want to do the thing that I was talking about where we do the Drawbox lessons together. Like the Drawbox lessons challenge or something. And that's let's make a date for that next week. We'll just be picking a day to start with that.
Ice back up.
Hello? Yeah, we'll be picking a day next week to do Drawbox lessons. And we'll try to do them together, and we'll try to do them fairly diligently. We'll just make like a recurring class series about that next week. Because it's a very homework intensive thing, we might not do that. We might not do that on stream. We might do that off stream, but we can still share homework and stuff. Kind of maybe want to keep these Twitch classes for mainly for clickers and animation stuff, but we'll see. I'll figure out how to work it. But I do think it's going to be very valuable to dig into the Dropbox stuff. It's going to be important for me to maybe jump into that somewhat, because like next month I've got a storyboarding class and an animation class I'm taking. So something where I'm kind of really kind of practicing core draftsmanship fundamentals would definitely help me out, especially for perspective and stuff. Anyway, the two things I found are like two videos on how to study anatomy properly. One of them's by Mark Renee, and the other one's by the guy who created Drawbox. And they're both really, really handy and helpful. The Mark Renee one in particular, but maybe I can skim through them to show like the important, some of the important parts we should pay attention to in those. Also, I actually did some warm-up sets today, much earlier in the day. Drawing traditionally. I now have like set up a drawing desk in another room so that I can do like sketchbook stuff. I'll also be able to do like Procreate stuff on my iPad there. Be fun. Oh, there's two other tools I wanted to show you guys that I'm going to be starting to use in here too. One of them is like, well, actually the two of them are kind of correlated, but you're going to be seeing me use them a lot more for my streams. Let me actually make it about three things. One is this program called Scener, which lets you like officially synchronize watching like a Netflix film or like a Disney Plus film or HBO Max or whatever with a group of other people. So that'd be good for like screening films and stuff. That I cannot use on streams, but that I can use like, offline or for Discord or something like that. I can't use that on like the Twitch stream, whatever. But the other one is something that I can use on my Twitch streams, which is the Amazon Prime Watch Party. So anyone who has Amazon Prime will be able, and who's like has the same regional like film rights or whatever to the same films that are allowed by Amazon Prime in your region or whatever. When I play Amazon Prime videos, like stuff that's normally like available for free when you have Amazon Prime, I can play those in a watch party mode on Twitch. Because Twitch is owned by Amazon, and it lets me legally play like a pretty good selection of movies and TV shows, like Avatar: The Last Airbender is up there, for example. There's also a few new animated shows and stuff, and some really good classic films, including some really amazing classic anime, theatrical anime and stuff that I really want to stream. And also a lot of really fun cult movie hits that I'm eager to share with people and so on. So I'm planning on, like last week I played a bit of Katsushiro Otomo's Memories anthology movie. It was really fun to do before stream. I think I want to do something like that. So if people will be down, I could actually screen like a film after this class is over. We'll just go down what's available on Amazon Prime and find something. I've already got like several things watch listed. But remember, you have to have an Amazon Prime account in order to participate. If you have not used your Amazon Prime free trial, you could probably do that. What, Scener? Are you talking about Scener? like syncing to the class. You don't worry about syncing to the class with Scener. Or you talk about Magma Studio with syncing to the class. Somebody was asking that in Discord chat. Yeah, you see this little puppet right here? This is a puppet we've been using for the last few weeks that I've been training people in. That's what I'm warming up with today to kind of reconnect and touch base with this, because I'm going to be using this guy pretty extensively next month in my storyboard and animation classes that I'm taking. I'm going to be using this guy or something like him for a lot of stuff. This is a puppet that's loosely based on a mixture of Disney animation, loose figure puppets they use for figurative animation shorthand. And I'm going to save an image of this real quick. Remember to save your work if you need to clear your workspace in Magma Studio. Just to save your work, let me put the class demo files here. Today is the 20th? Yes. But yeah, with Magma Studio, I'm in the sequential beta. Oh, there's nobody there's nobody currently on panel 1 in Magma Studio, so anyone who wants to take that over, please feel free to. What's going on here? If we need more panels, just let me know. By the way, we probably will need more panels. But otherwise, you can just use your own drawing apps and stuff. Which layer is that that's hiding in front of me? There we go. All right, so yeah, drawing panel 1 right here. I'm gonna relink it because there's nobody jumping in here. So panel 1 again. Let's put that there. So that's for anyone who wants that. A few more panels here. Yeah, so I got 3 more panels for good measure there in case we need them. But I'll wait for somebody to take over panel 1. That there's like one extra person on panel 2. If that person could go over to panel 1, that'd be great. Try to keep it to around like 2 people per panel. But anyway, I'm gonna have people do this basically every time I need to create a new drawing space. Just like hide what you did after you save your work, save a PNG of your work. Alexa, stop. So you notice I'm not really doing too much in the way of observational drawing today. I am looking at the figures and they're giving me ideas of things to riff on, but the name of the game today is Figure Invention. Alexa, set timer for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, starting now.
Yeah, normally the panels are in the Magna Studio Link section, but we're doing this in Ethan Becker's Discord today for my Saturday. Every Saturday class is in Ethan Becker's Discord server.
Does OK Google know you're talking to Alexa?
No, I moved Google to another room because I moved a TV that's controlled by voice into another room, but I can use Alexa for timing. I'm just used to saying OK Google. I actually want to customize it to like you can customize Alexa to be to use like a different call sign. So I'm thinking of like changing Alexa's name to Astrobug.
Are there custom voices for Alexa?
Huh?
Can you use a custom voice, like so it doesn't have the same Alexa voice when it answers?
I think so, yeah. Alexa, how do I change your voice?
I'm afraid I can't change my voice.
Oh. Guess not. It's weird. Could have sworn there was a way to change their voice. Let's see. Alexa, how do I change your name?
You can find and update my wake word in the Alexa app. Select the device's icon, select your device, and then select wake word.
Yes, thank you. Alright, I'm just banging out a few more figures here before we get into some of the things I want to share. Well, we are technically on a little bit of a break right now. For the next 5 or 6 minutes or so. So today is Sakugabur's Saturday. We're going to be making a regular thing out of this. Every Saturday we are always going to touch base with animation in some capacity. Some days we will do some animation together. Other days will be just like playing with the drawing mechanics that are going to help us when we are animating. We also might even do like animation homework critiques in the future when I feel comfortable with assigning animation homework again. For now, though, the closest thing to animation homework I have is this week I want to have people working on. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. So last Wednesday, I did a demonstration of how to do turnarounds. That class is currently on my YouTube, archived on my YouTube. But we did a torso bone anatomy turnaround. I want people to, for this next week, your homework assignment is to do a turnaround of a full figure. Not like necessarily a detailed anatomical figure. It could be a very simple figure. You can even take an existing OC you have, an OC character design you have, or like a simple figure puppet like this. But I want at least one animation turnaround due next week, and it'll be due this Saturday. Then we can critique it during Sakugaburo Saturday next week. So please refer to the Wednesday class that's on my YouTube from then. I'll supply a link for that. Yeah, that's what the homework is going to be this week. In addition to practicing these torso stuff that we're going to be doing today. yeah, that's the homework animation. I'm also going to be assigning a new round of figure drawing homework relevant to what we're doing today, because I want us to get fluent with Ethan's approach to drawing the figure. So, first off, before we get into Ethan's stuff, I'm going to show the two videos that I found were really interesting. Share those with you guys. So there is a video of Proco that just came out called with a guest teacher Irshad Karim, who is from Drawbox or whatever. But this is the video I want you guys to check. This is one of the two videos I want you guys to check out. Yeah, he's the creator of the Drawbox site, which goes over like fundamentals of draftsmanship and stuff, and really helpful drawing tools and stuff. Drawbox is a free site, of course, and they also have a Discord. But I'm gonna maybe like sometime next week, either in my class streams or either in my class streams or my Discord, my personal Discord, we're gonna start getting through this stuff. We're gonna start doing the challenges and stuff and the lessons, and working our way up to the construction drawing. He still has yet to make part 3 to this, by the way, but the guts of what he's talking about here apply to some of what he talks about here. But this is a really interesting video about how he gets around not having the ability to draw from imagination. Like he finds other workarounds and stuff to like patch together create patchworks of different ideas and stuff from reference and so on. So this is a really good video to watch. The other one that I wanted to show is Mark Brunette, who has a really good drawing tutorials and stuff. This video that he put up recently of how to practice drawing anatomy right here. This video, he talks about like 6 different. Oh, let's stop. He talks about several different. Yeah, he talks about several different stages of practice. This is stage 1 right here. Stage 1 is actually and this kind of connects a little bit with what we'd be doing if we're doing Drawbox stuff. Like the building blocks of this stuff is like stuff from like Drawbox, basically, where you do drawovers, or you do drawovers to kind of break down how the figure works and stuff using simple geometric shapes. That's like stage 1 of practice. Stage 2 is gesture drawing, which is a little bit of what we have been doing lately. But this might be but in terms of like how he paces it, this is probably getting ahead of ourselves a bit. But yeah, time gesture poses and stuff, like it's level 2 and level 3 over here. But yeah, you get the idea. Level 4, level 5. Level 5 gets into more in-depth anatomy, I think. And then level pro. So there's like 6 levels, and I guess pro would be the 6th level. Yeah, check out that video too. It's How to Practice Drawing Anatomy by Mark Brunet. I'll need to link that actually. Link that in Drawing Corner chat, or in classroom chat. And the Proco video with the Drawbox guy. I will link that too. But they are the latest videos on both the Proco and Mark Brunet YouTube channels. And on that same token, oh yeah, I wanted to mention, the third thing I wanted to mention earlier is we might be doing a draw party after class too. Of just like drawing stupid shit in Magna Studio. Like, things kind of devolved yesterday towards the end of class of drawing shitty Pokemons. So I'm thinking maybe after class we could do some silly, stupid drawing game like that while we watch a movie. Or put on like, I don't know, Avatar: The Last Airbender, or whatever is like available on Amazon Prime to play legally or whatever. whatever might be fun. So anyway, as far as so speaking of latest videos, Ethan, who has quit his job recently in animation, is now doing full-time. He's going to be doing full-time paid classes, and he's going to be doing full-time YouTube art instruction videos. And this is his latest video. It is our job for the next week to memorize and become fluent with the principles of this video right here, the draw gesture with one shape video right here. And this one I actually can turn the audio on for, because if I get copyright boinked for this, I can just challenge it and Ethan will be like, yeah, okay, fine. So,
Happy June. All right, step one.
So the
Are you happy,
most
June?
important part of this video is to listen very closely.
Are you happy? Are you happy now?
To Ethan's spitball.
Are you happy?
Ethan's spitball is giving a very, very important artistic advice from their nostrils.
June. All right, step one, find your reference. This is too complicated right here. We're artists. We don't know how to read. Why do you think we're doing this in the first place? For me, I need to find somebody really, really clear on who to reference good structure. I'm referencing the guy that everybody is referencing in this field, Ryu.
So newcomers who are coming here, find an artist that has really, really good clear torsos that you would want to learn from. You can also use photos. But I want you to find and gather a bunch of reference for yourself. One of the places that you can also use for reference, by the way, because this is Sakugaburo Saturday, is the site Sakugaburo. And so I'm going to be pulling stuff from there because I can actually download, because you can actually download like right here, for example. And I'm gonna import some of these into a drawing or animation app, so I can do draw over studies of the torso frame by frame in whatever of these that I want to pull from. But try to get something that has really clear torsos. It can be storyboards or animatics, or it can be comic drawings or illustrations. It could be photos of live action people or whatever. But yeah, if you can find some good Sakuga animation to pull from that has really clearly drawn torsos, that'd be good. The Voltron anime, the Korra anime, I think the Korra series and Avatar: The Last Airbender would both be good to do. In fact, we probably should maybe just join stuff from Avatar and Korra today. Oh yeah, Raboots has been generous enough to provide people with sheets that they can use themselves. And these are in the Discord chat, in the classroom chat section. So if you wanted to, honestly, if you grab those would be great to do this with. I did one of these sheets yesterday. Oh, you double posted one of those, by the way, Raboots, in case you're trying to post a third one. But yeah, like if you want to grab those, it'd be fine. Also, I would strongly encourage people to share. Let's see here. I think this is what I put together yesterday right here. I'm uploading a PureRev file with one of the sheets that I did. I'll also upload the mood board that I did, so you can bring that into your drawing app in classroom chat. Also, thank you for the 100 bits, Gage Dot. But anyway, so get rid of this here real quick. So yeah, Sakugaburo, let me put that back there. So,
Ryu is
take a little time. I'm gonna give people a little time. Like,
okay, baseline.
I want you to start gathering
no
reference.
frills, none of this.
In this case, he's using the artist Kihun Ryu, which is an artist who was on Avatar, who Ethan worked with and learned from. So step one. Step one is to get the Step one is to get the reference. Actually, we were doing step 2 yesterday. We're going to be doing like step 3 or 4 or something today. But step 2 is what we did yesterday, which is after you gather your reference, you do draw overs like this. where you create this kind of form that it describes the information that you need about the torso right there in a very simple way, and it uses kind of like this pinch here. You can use like shoulder tilts and stuff. You can sort of imply like where the neck is or the shoulders are and stuff. It's a very simple shape, and you just want to do this a lot in drawovers and stuff. Eventually you're going to take off the training wheels and be able to invent them yourself and stuff. But I want people, myself included, to start getting really fluent with using this and make this second nature. The last time we did this, we started with several days of doing basically this, using the Ethan Becker face wedge, which is actually he claims that this is the video that we learned from about 4 months ago. It's wild. But now I'm really fluent with this thing, and this thing like helps me with my head drawing a lot. I actually may want to go back and review it because I've stopped using it I've stopped using like portions of it for like the eyes and the mouth. But the main wedge is something that has stuck with me, that helps me with my head drawing even today. Like let me show you here real quick. There's a head turnaround. One sec. There's a head turnaround I animated that actually uses that, uses an understanding of that. But yeah, like, let's see here. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, but this is a head that kind of uses, if not specifically the way he does it, an understanding of that. I did not use any reference on this. This is all purely like structural shape knowledge of constructing the head. Let's turn around here. And I want people to this is, by the way, is the homework that's due for next week. You can use a head, you can use a full figure, but this is the homework that's due for next week if you want some critique. Honestly though, like if you have any piece of animation that you want to submit for homework for feedback next week, you can do that too. Like not even necessarily like turnarounds. Where I'm gonna welcome all on, but yeah, like this is kind of what I want to see you guys turning in for next week homework, like a rough turnaround of some kind. Can be just like a head, or like can be like a full figure like this. But I want you guys turning. You can refer to my Wednesday class for help on this. Anyway, so just wanted to share that. But this is basically what we're doing right here. I did this yesterday and during yesterday's class. What you're going to do is you can copy paste image files into Magnet Studio if you are using Magnet Studio. And can you draw overs like this? Let me see if maybe I can grab something in here to do a quick demonstration from it. I think I've pretty much eaten up everything on this page though. So anyway, I have to create a new file because this thing is gotten really bloated. Save. Making sure that little thing I did earlier gets saved into this too. This counts as a little archive record of my demo. But, so what I want you doing is in your drawing app of choice, or if you're using Magnet Studio, you can do this too, is I want you using, I want you making these, basically. I want you making these over the drawings. This is, so the step that we're going to be looking at today, in addition, after we get a little bit of warm up on step 2, is the one shape 50 poses thing. And also here is a link in the classroom chat to Ethan's video for people. But this is the main thing that we're concentrating on for today. and I want people to get a lot of mileage utilizing this thing. For me, I'm going to be yanking stuff from Sakugaburo after I get a little bit warmed up. I'm gonna maybe grab some Avatar stuff or some Korra stuff. It'd be good actually if we watched some Avatar: The Last Airbender after class today on Amazon Prime, or Korra, or something. But we'll see. So.
Are where this and that is. If you just separate it by doing this, then it can be so much more clear for.
Yeah, check this out. One shape 50 poses. Check this out. Like he takes like, one shape 50 poses. You can take one of these shapes that you've done. Like I could literally just take like this stuff on this sheet that I've done previously. This one here, and I actually did add shoulder things onto a lot of these, but I can do what he's talking about. And like one of the blank ones, like here, for example, I could put the shoulder here instead. And then that would change, that would mean that like the back is facing us here. For example. I could put the shoulder down here, or up here. It's actually up there, but you get the idea. Like, you can start like repositioning where things are in this kind of like simple torso shape. Like this simple shape is basically like this sort of thing where you have sort of pinch right here, like pinch line in the midsection for this very simple torso form. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Like you can place the shoulder anywhere in here, and then it'll influence like where this thing is angled. I think this works a little better if it's like a sideways turn pose, so let's try that. But look at this, I'm already fluent with this. I'm starting to get a little bit fluent with this, so I can invent. So like shoulder down there, shoulder up here, shoulder all the way up there. That really drastically changes things. This angle in particular seems to work really well, but like look at that. So I've invented this. I'm not looking at any reference doing this, but this is the power of this method once you start understanding it. And I'm totally new to this. I have not used this method before. I'm doing it from Ethan's video. Oh, I fucked that up. Yeah, 3 examples right there. Okay, I can have like the shoulder down here. I can have the shoulder like here. I can have the shoulder like up here. Stuff. And that really drastically changes where the pose is. You can do that with the shoulder. You can do that with like the pelvis here too. Like look at this. So we get like, I'm gonna put the little triangle at the top of the butt back there. And then like this little shape for the front of the pelvis there. Center line of the back there. Center line back there. Actually, let's do a torso twist here. So what I want you doing right now is I want you to keep gathering your reference if you have, and if you don't have anything, you can grab one of the images, like the image like Gus posted in chat, or the images that Raboots posted in chat. They posted like 3 or 4 different sheets, I think. Yeah, like 3 different sheets. Also share any reference thing that you have. I also have a reference thing of a PureRef file. To read that file, you're going to have to download this app called PureRef, which is free right here. In order to read that and export the images, you can export it as a scene and get like a massive image thing. I can hear myself. Alright, so I want you to import that stuff into the drawing. Once you have enough reference gathered, so you're not going to be like dipping back in every time, I want you to import that into Magna Studio. So this torso that we're using, this is a torso that's used both in animation production and in storyboarding. And that's why we want to get fluent with this. This thing is a structural shorthand tool that will help us like quickly bang out poses and stuff. Like we can layer anatomy knowledge into this thing. But you can start with a simple shape like this and get fluent with it. And the way you start getting fluent with that is you do drawovers using it of like photographs and stuff, and then you start inventing using it. You can see this thing that I'm using right now. It's not too much of a stretch for me to take like those whispery sort of limbs that I was doing earlier with like the wire, like these kind of bendy wires that I was doing during the warm-up section. And here's like that little triangle shape right there. That's my ultra simplified version of the Ethan Pecker face wedge. It's the same sort of thing, but it's like without too much elaboration on it, basically. Like there's enough information for me there to add like this in, for example, and then like do like this side plane to the head, about here. Like so. But yeah, that's these little we're practicing like these. We're trying to memorize like these shorthand techniques so that we can move figures around and invent poses easier. So that we can think spatially and three-dimensionally using this stuff too. There's some limbs-focused versions of his stuff that we can work our way out to eventually too. But for now, if you want to add limbs to these things, like you feel free to add like simple geometric shapes or like just use some gesture lines and then add like some cylinders to it or something like that. I mean, like it's not much of a stretch for me to like. You saw how I was doing that kind of ball and socket thing on Spacedad's limbs. There, I can do like this sort of thing over my gestures. Just add some kind of moldy cylinders or something like that. But yeah, like, however you want to do it. Yeah, start copy pasting into your images into Magma Studio to do drawovers of, right? You should be doing them right now, actually. This is going to be freeform practice. We will probably do some other time poses too, because then we can create some of these shapes freehand once people are a little bit more fluent in them, using like stuff like this guy on screen here. I'm going to pause it on him because I actually want to draw him. But I'm not seeing people copy paste the reference into Magma Studio, so please do that. You literally just copy the image and paste it into Magma. You can do them one at a time, or you can paste by an image board or something.
Oh, okay. I was doing it in Clip Studio. I can copy paste it into
There you go.
Studio.
Yeah, Raboots just did it. Raboots, because there's two people on your thing, maybe the two of you there, one of you should take over the left side of the screen, the other should take over the right side of the screen, and work your way inward. And each of you should have different colored pens. Okay. Let's do that how they're doing it. If you guys import like one of those huge files, like what Raboots has done for panel 1. I'll put that on screen so you guys can see that easier. For panel 1 there, what he's done, if you import a giant thing like that onto your screen, because we're doing 2 people per panel, one of you should be drawn with one color, the other should be drawn with another color for these drawovers. And just try to start from the left and right sides of the screen and work your way inward. Try to give yourself, each of you, like roughly about as much time and space to draw draw these as you can. And if you run out, have something else you can do. You can, like a drawing thing you could do on hand. So make sure you lower opacity on these before you get started on them. But yeah, since we're doing the one shape 50 poses thing today, try to favor making shapes that are pretty neutral, that don't have the limbs on them. Because I'm thinking, like, after we get a sheet or two of these under our belt, we're going to do this. We're going to be adding limbs, like, oh, here we go. Yeah, Ethan actually does show how to add limbs to it. Very, very simple. You can see, like, he's drawn like these crisscross face shapes, side plane of head, very simple ball and socket limbs and stuff. It's not really bothering with hands for these. So he's just trying to get these like loosely in place. Step 5 right here is something we're probably going to be saving for Monday. But this one, step 5 also involves, he uses a photo as an example. So Monday we're definitely going to be utilizing photos and stuff.
Dimension.
But
Spine.
But he breaks things down more for how you can invent in step 5, with like using this kind of whiteout technique to like clear out the information inside the pose, so you can reposition the limbs. You can change the pose and stuff. You can even change the position of the torso too. But what we're concentrating on today, we're concentrating mainly on step 1 and 2 to get us started, and then step 3, which is the one shape 50 poses step here. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit into when he gets a little bit further along with the figures. Right here. This is the step that we're going to be concentrating on for today. See if we can get a good view where he has got like everything on screen here. Oh. So I'll keep it on this one. I'll keep it on this image for now. I think. Since I don't see anyone drawing on panel 4, I'm gonna take over that panel. Well, here, let me put this over here. So we will get back to doing time poses a little bit later, but for now, this is going to be fairly self-directed practice. I'm going to give us a timer that we're going to be going by for the next 30 minutes or so. Okay, Google, set timer for 30 minutes. Oh, that's right. I'm using Alexa. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Alright, so now we have a good clean 30 minutes to do these stuff. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and here. I've got 3 more Magna Studio links. I'm gonna post those into Classroom chat here. So room 6 or panel 6. I'm going to be on panel 6, and then somebody can join me here. Panel 7. Panel 8. There we go. So try to keep it to 2 people per panel. I'm going to be on panel 6 with somebody here. So don't see anybody on panel. Is anybody drawn on panel 4?
I'm going to draw panel 4.
Alright, just asking. Panel 8 has nobody on it. I think there was somebody on 7, but they left. So I'm going to grab one of the images from chat. These are some really nice worksheets Have I modded you yet on my server, Raboots? Because you really deserve it if I haven't. I'm pretty sure I did.
You have not. Assuming
Then,
that you can
then
hear me.
remind me
I'm working
later.
remotely.
I need to mod you on my server and mod you in my Twitch chat.
For the record, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm working remote with my phone and Discord right now.
Oh, this is nice. I hear what Gus did. Yeah, remind me of that later. I've been meaning to mod. There's several people I've been meaning to mod. So, I'm gonna grab one of the images here. I can actually just copy paste it directly. I saved them now, but let's try. Let me just.
What is being
Actually, no.
modded mean?
Let's do this. We're gonna get 2 of these on the same sheet. Haha. And then me and my drawing partner on the same page can have enough space to draw both of them. So let me see if I can import this. Oh, what the heck's going on here? Okay, copy image. Why is it not copying? It's rude. Probably because it's not a PNG or something. Well, I know a way around that. So here's my way around that. Haha. 200 IQ. And it's still not copy pasting. Fucking hell. What the hell? Maybe it's because it's like the image file size or something? I don't know. Look weird. It's supposed to copy in. Maybe try importing the image file. Import.
Do you want me to try exporting the image from PureRef as a PNG?
Yeah. It looks like.
Spacedad, be aware of one thing, and I found this out about Magma City yesterday. If the pixel size is larger than the canvas, it will auto crop to everything, and you'll lose everything outside the pixel range.
Yeah. Nala just discovered that. My drawing partner here. It's probably because it's not a PNG. Well, no, it is a PNG. Why did?
No, it's regardless of the file format. I tried it multiple times yesterday. You have to size it down to below what the canvas size is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try to size it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, like specifically with the CT Chrysler ones that I generated for everybody yesterday, I specifically made it a 1920 by 1080 to match the canvas size.
Right. All right. Then we'll just use one of yours that you've already prepared for us in that case, because this one's giving us too much grief. So I don't mind. I don't mind redrawing one of the same panels I used yesterday, honestly. Let's see here. Copy. Wait, I didn't create a new layer.
What's the canvas size?
It's
The
like,
canvas size is typically 1920 by 1080, I think, on our panels.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
This thing's giving me a lot of grief right now. At least you guys are getting good, are able to. Here, 1 second. Gonna delete this layer. Okay, I gave Nalia a layer there, but I'm gonna try to import once and for all here.
Could try dragging and dropping.
Yeah, I don't know why it's giving me so much grief right now. working. It was working fine yesterday.
If you drag and drop it over, it should import.
Yeah, it's not.
You can try to copy the layer off another panel.
Yeah, I did. Copy image. Or copy. Oh no, there we go. That's
Oh,
working.
oh. I was gonna say you might want to see if it's enabled to access your clipboard in Magma.
Well, in any case, I was able to just copy it now. So, unless my drawing partner did that. Nope, I did it. All right, cool. So I'm gonna lower opacity on that. About like 40, something like that. Sorry about that little delay, my drawing partner. Alright, so you should have drawing layer 3. And I'm going to use a kind of a magenta red for my drawovers here. But so use another color to differentiate yours. I'm going to work from the left to the right. It's okay if the pixels are a little bit crunchy because it's about the lines that we're making. So.
Okay, I was able to drag the references to board 4. So I'm going to be using these ones. If anyone else wants to use other references, just use panel 4.
Have anything behind here? Yeah, I do. I should get rid of this. So I don't have any of that annoying Clip Studio error stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on this for like the next 30 minutes or so. At about 30 minutes we're going to take a trip to Sakugaburo to see if we can find maybe some Cora or Avatar stuff to download and import to animation software. So we can do basically this, but using using an animation tool and stuff to analyze. Oh, I forgot. For this, try to keep the torsos fairly open. I'm gonna try to avoid drawing center lines for these, because we're gonna be doing the one shape 50, one shape 50 images thing. Actually, I think it would disrupt the class too much if I tried importing from Sakugaburo. So what we'll do is we can do frame by frame copy paste. Like you can find like frames. Like we'll just look for good frames to do from stuff from Sakugaburo that we copy paste into drawing apps. But you see, like the perspective of the shape is built into it. There's like a lot of information built into it. Like here, like the perspective is built into these shapes that you're doing, and you can see it in the shoulder tilt. You can see it in the pinch that happens at the midsection, and you can see it in the hip tilt. But please try to avoid drawing a center line or limb sockets for these, because we are going to be, I mean, if you kind of need to do a few of them to kind of wrap your head around that. But that's okay, but I would want to encourage people to erase those because we are going to be adding those as the next step. Because I want people, after for the next step that we're going to be doing this, we're going to be copy pasting. We're going to be copy pasting these, and we're going to be like doing something that's. We're going to be doing another phase that involves like adding like the limbs to it, like this. Like for example, this one right here that has the bit of the crotch that's showing like the turnover, and the sun in the back there. So we'll be adding that stuff for the next phase, but we'll also be copy pasting. We'll be copy pasting the torsos that we've done, so that we can invent with them and reposition limbs and stuff. But we'll take after this 30-minute thing, we are going to take a look at Sakugaburu stuff. So I do want to make that a little bit of a regular thing that we do, where we take a little field trip to Sakugaburu, because this is really like Ethan mentions his avatar and Korra mentor. We're going to be using stuff from Korra and Avatar, and maybe Voltron. But we'll be grabbing some stuff from there. We'll be screenshotting images from the storyboard animatics and from the animation, and doing this basically. Yeah, look for that pinch. Look for that like kind of roundness to the sides of the shoulders, and there's usually like a little bit of a peak here where the base of the neck is, like that. Some people were talking in Twitch chat a little bit confused about why I'm not on my personal server today. It's because every Saturday is a class that I teach in Ethan's server, Ethan Becker's server. I am an official moderator and teacher there on his server. Also, doing these is not a race, so if you are doing them really choppy, maybe consider erasing them and do them again slowly. Like, try to get them to look a little bit more like how Ethan's doing them, with his pretty strongly defined shapes. These are 3D shapes that you're drawing, by the way, so think about them three-dimensionally as you're drawing them. I want you to think about them as if you're creating a wad of clay in the shape of this simplified torso form. Like, you always want to be thinking three-dimensionally when you're drawing stuff like this. You're not drawing a 2D shape here, although that is the illusion. You are drawing a 3D shape inside your head as you're doing these. I want you to think about them three-dimensionally. Try to keep the Like the shoulder is very rounded. I think the only part where there's really kind of like a hard edge would be like the pinch in the middle. There's a little bit of kind of like a rounded hard edge, like right here on the shoulders a bit, and then the corners of the hips. But it shouldn't be like a sharp angle like that. So that's too specific. You want it more like rounded like this, because that gives you more ambiguity to, you know, place the shoulder socket in other spots, stuff. That, and it's more of a stronger kind of organic shape. Okay, look at this. Like, this is a great example of what we can do later. Like, feel like this is a center line for the back. And look at that. I'm gonna get ahead of myself right now and create one of the poses that Ethan's talking about, with one pose, like one torso, or one drawing 50 poses. So this is a character that's now facing its back to us, with an arm in a very different position. But that's the kind of stuff we're going to be doing for the next set. I should actually erase this. For now, though, kind of hold off on it. I want people concentrating on just the torso. Let's see, how many did I get through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're pretty dead even, so I'm just going to continue working on mine. This is such a tricky torso right here. Ethan actually does show how to get like severely foreshortened torsos like this in his video too, though. Alexa, how much time left on timer?
You have 10 minutes left on your 30-minute timer.
I'm actually going to give us a break pretty soon, because I think we're a good ways into this. Feel free to keep drawing on these too during the break. I'm going to draw like 2 more of these little torsos here, I think, and then I'll do hands off. Actually, I think I'm good. Okay, Alexa, stop timer.
30-minute timer canceled.
Alright, so I'll give us a 7-minute break. Alexa, set timer for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, starting now.
Nala, feel free to keep drawing over the other torsos here. I'm actually going to save my drawing space real quick. Save as PNG. Let me show you guys another trick now. So save as PNG. Save that. Now, check this out. Look. Alright, so now, hold on a second. I'm going to hide the layer. Check it out. Now we got torsos. And now I can... Oops. Now I can save this as a PNG. And I can import that into a drawing app, my drawing app of choice now, to do the 50 poses thingy. But yeah, this is actually what I wanted people doing. For the next set, we're going to be creating a new layer. The new layer, we will like initially do like adding the limbs and stuff to these and so on, like this for example. The limbs in the center line, and maybe like the head, whatever else. But little shitty thing. But yeah, like then at some point we hide the layer, and we we can copy the pose into this. We can copy the pose, the thing next to it, like this, like 1 or 2 times or something like that, and then we start working into it a bit, modifying the pose. Stuff like this. Shitty examples, I know, but but that's basically what we're going to be doing for the next set. So now I'm going to head over to Sakagibaru, and we're going to check out some cool shit from Avatar and Korra and Voltron. So looks like, so, I ideally want to use some rough animation, but there's also like finished show animation that would be good to use. It's a lot of storyboard stuff that I can also pull from. Some of them might actually be drawings from the guy that Ethan, from Kihun Ryu, that Ethan was mentored by. Yeah, here we go. So now we can actually do some specific stuff by him. Shockingly, very little stuff by him here. Yeah, there's some stuff on Boondocks that he did too, and that's cool. But I'm kind of surprised and slightly disappointed that there's not more stuff by him here. There's some stuff from a scrapped Nightwing animated series pitch right there. That's cool. Yeah, they're wearing a hoodie, but you can still kind of infer this torso shape through that. This one works a little bit better, I'd say. This one, the torso is kind of cut off. This one's better. These are cleanup poses, by the way, or tie-down poses. Or no, these are this is before the stuff gets sent to ink and paint. So this is like clean up pencils before they send it off to ink and paint. Let's see here. Yeah, this would be good to use. There's also, you can see some examples of this a device that I've shown people before here, which is the Starman. There's a little bit of that going on here. You can see like they're using the torso shape here that we're using for our class. I think switch the monitor actually. Well, let's talk a little bit. I wanted to go through this a bit because I want to show you how this stuff is actually used in animation productions. Like, check this out. Look. So this simple torso shape that we're all practicing here, that's in use here, and you can really see it. It's in the use right here. It's in use right here. It's in use right here. Also the Starman, which is a simplified approach to the figure that we've practiced before in here, is in use here as well. Remember, the Starman is modular, so you can add or subtract detail from it as needed. Yeah, but yeah, like there it is right there. It's like this has more of like kid's shirt mass on top of it, but the basic form of that torso is like present in all this stuff. And you can also see there's a certain way he's handling limbs, and we're going to be getting more into that in the future too, because I think Ethan has some videos on that as well that would be helpful for deciphering what Ki-Hoon Ryu is using here. Yeah, this Boondocks thing right here would be great to do studies from. I think I'm going to hold on to this. Let's see, this one's a little less useful. I think it's better when they're rough, because then you can actually see more of how it's used. Here we go. What's this from? I think this is like personal. I think this is a Ki-Hoon Ryu self-portrait right here. Yeah, it is. Alexa, stop. This is a self-portrait of Ki-Hoon Ryu. Oh my god. This is great. Oh, good lord. Lovely. So that was in 2012. That's cool. When he was still working on Korra. Look at that. Look at all those great arm poses right there. But yeah, I mean, like, this is a good example of... so he's got the torso there, and he's just animating the arm. I mean, he's using the principle of, like, just repositioning the arm a bunch. And he's using it here, too. Like same held pose on that torso right here, where the arm changes position. This is great.
Can you actually link this one? This is great.
Well, just do a search on Sakugaburo for Ki-Hoon Ryu, and you should find it. There's only like a few things of his that are posted on Sakugaburo. So I got page 2 here. There's a criminally small number of shots by him on that. Which is crazy, because according to Ethan Becker, like everyone is trying to imitate him in this business right now. Like, he's the one who kind of set the tone, apparently, for like the way that Avatar and Korra and other things are drawn. I know he did Voltron stuff, but there's like no Voltron shots in here. What the fuck? It does kind of bug me. You can tell which artists usually have like the most fans or something, or most fan following or something like that, because or up-to-date fan following, because they're you usually get a lot of uploads to Sakugaburo. Yeah, there's criminally few shots by him on here. I hope that changes in the future. What's this? This is from something called Wonderful Days. What is this? Wonderful Days. Sky, also known as Sky Blue. It's South Korean anime. Came out in 2003. Interesting. So I guess this is one of the earlier films he worked on. But you can see the principles of all that stuff that we were going over at play even back here too. Yeah, that's just great. Yeah, if you keep coming here, folks, you can learn to draw just like Ki-Hoon Ryu. Hopefully. I mean... Oh, good, he did this shot. Okay, so the few shots that are up on Sukugruber of his stuff, at least, are very quality. So this is one of the more memorable side characters, the foaming at the mouth guy from Airbender. Yeah, here's something by another artist on his team, on the Avatar team, and yeah, you can see like the little bits of Starman, little bits of simplified anatomy. You can see the torso shape that we're using at play here a bunch. You really see it there, right here. Look at how simple that is. Little Starman on him. Some minimal detail. Somebody's flushing their toilet. I'm gonna have to mute somebody because it's disruptive and also embarrassing to them. There. This one's a little bit harder to see, but yeah. It's still at play here. Low image quality, sadly, on those storyboards, but yeah. So it's good shit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready for the next set. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue with what we were doing. I think it would be too much trouble to import these for this session. Like, I would want to have these prepared and ready so we can use them in animation software beforehand. But at the very least, we're taking a look at them to see how this stuff is applied and why we're doing this. And I do want to screen some Avatar: The Last Airbender after this in a watch party. So if you guys want to stick around, I can play an episode or two of Avatar. After class, it'll be streamed to Twitch because we can do Amazon Prime watch party. So if you have Amazon Prime, you'll be able to watch with all of us. I wonder if they have commentary tracks on the Amazon version. Anyway, so I'm going to jump back into Magma Studio with my drawing partner here. Hello. We're going to set timer for another 30 minutes. And okay, Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Alright, so what I'm going to have us do is you take those torsos that we just did. You can use the lasso tool for this. Just grab a torso you think might be suitable to do different versions of and copy it like 1 to 2 times. Again, this is self-directed practice. So you can do this at your own pace, and this is not a race. I want you guys to do these effectively, more than I want you to do lots of them. Although doing lots of them and doing them effectively would be ideally how you do them. So let's see here. So you can start with like doing like one that's pretty close to like the draw over of the body, like so. Let's maybe fast forward Ethan's video a bit so we can see a little bit what he's doing. Right there, that's good. Maybe we can add a little bit of the limbs too. Well, actually, let's not start with the limbs. But you can see like he's got like, I'm gonna put like a little line there for the pectorals or the chest or the ribcage or so. A little line for the waist right here, like the plane change direction of the side plane This is the side plane of the body right here, and the pelvis. So it goes like this, that. So I'm going to avoid drawing the limbs for now, but let me try. I'm going to do a torso twist here. I'm going to keep her pelvis about the same spot, but I'm going to do this. Like that. So now her shoulder is over this way a little bit more. Of course, I would have to alter this a bit later coming to it or whatever, but it's a starting point I can use. Ethan actually like physically copied and pasted the arm, I think, to show how many different positions you could put the arm into. That's kind of neat. All right, so let's see here. Where else could I put this arm? So maybe like, let's do this, and maybe make this an upshot, so we get like the base of the neck here. Get rid of that. But let's do this. I think this works a little better. You want to do these calmly and think through what you're doing them and why, and pay attention to them, by the way. Did you lasso on your layer? Somebody was asking in the Magma Studio text chat. They were not able to copy paste them for some reason. Just can't copy paste. Probably because you don't have clipboard enabled in Magma Studio or something. So I think you have to go to application settings and enable clipboard or some shit. Or that might be a Chrome thing.
Yeah, normally when you try to do a clipboard copy and paste, it will give you a warning. I think there's actually a clipboard icon up next to like the favorite star that you can click on to set that.
Mm-hmm. So, also another thing, before the class I showed a video for the cinema cartography. Here's another video that I strongly recommend checking out, and I strongly recommend checking out a lot of the video that is either a lot of the anime in it that is either mentioned in passing, or the anime that they go into detail on. Cinema, because pretty much everything that they go over in the video is worth watching. But it's the video, the aesthetic of anime, right here. So I'm not gonna be playing it because I don't want to get boinked. But I wanted to show it to you. He does do specific like focuses on certain things for certain segments of the video, but in the interim bits, he talks, and over the course of them, he correlates them to different anime, and he tries to. It's like this is like something you'd want to show to somebody who's new to anime, but this is also good for people who are pretty familiar with anime who might want to check out or rediscover things that check out things that they haven't seen, or rediscover or reappreciate things that they've watched previously, and appreciate appreciate a little bit better what the artistic merit and variation in them is. So it's easy to kind of get jaded to anime to realize how unique and diverse it is. But yeah, one series I can very strongly recommend right here, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's a like geopolitical space opera, basically, and it's really really well done, with one of the best written stories in any anime. I would compare it to kind of Game of Thrones in space, basically. But I think that's honestly selling it short. It is its own thing that's deserving of praise on its own terms. It's been remade recently and done pretty well in its remake, but the original OAV that it was made for it is really, really, really well done. Even for like back in the 80s when it came out. But yeah, cinema cartography, the aesthetics of anime. That's a very strongly recommended video for people to check out. And also to check out the animes that they mention in passing and go into detail on in there. That can turn into a new watch list for all of you here. Anyway, so, alright, I'm gonna grab my next one of these things. Or actually no, I'm going to, let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit more with the limbs on this. So I'm gonna draw the heads a little like how Ethan has them. I'm gonna start with like a circle eye line here. Keep it very simple. Indication of the mouth, and indication maybe of the side plane of the head, I think. So now I'm going to figure out what direction the head is pointing and where. I decided this one is kind of like an upshot, so her head would maybe be more like this. In case you can realize it yet, this is a tool. What we're doing right now, we are playing with the mechanics of being able to reposition a character model and keep them consistent in volumes and stuff into different poses for animation or storyboarding. When we all become fluent with doing stuff like this, we will be able to like take character designs that are like this and stuff and then reposition them, much the same way that the actual artist did on these kind of model sheets that they did themselves. But like when you reposition stuff and you like, your starting point is going to be something kind of rough like this, because you figure that out. You figure out like where the position of the limbs and where the position of the body is first in rough form, before you do like the really exquisite layered detail on top of it. Like you don't want to get caught up in detail. You need a simple puppet that you can reposition into any pose that you need. Like detail comes later. Once you get the puppet working, you can spend all the time well, first off, if you get the puppet working, getting the anatomy and everything else falls into place a lot easier. And all the other detail and so on. Let's see, should I do the limbs too? I think I will. So for the limbs, I'm going to do it kind of how what Ethan did, where like I have this kind of sort of turtle shell shape for the deltoid that's kind of like a circle, but also kind of like a triangle sort of thing like this. Thinking of like kind of a rounded over the top form or something like that. She's got them on either side, so get like another one here. We get X-ray vision through her body like that. Also, another thing, if you notice that the way that Kihun Ryu is drawing things, like, that's a habit I want to pick up on. Like, he does a lot of drawing limbs where he draws, like, the exterior volumes of the limbs and stuff. Like, he comes in and adds, like, the fingers and stuff later, but then he, like, you see him going over the same line and stuff as if he's, like, kind of sculpting the limb and stuff, and that seems to be a practice that a lot of like figurative anime-ish, like South Korean anime-ish artists and animators use. Like, kind of like, it's something like this. This is my shitty version of the same sort of thing. But let me see if maybe I can try to do this a little bit. I think I'd really need to like see them physically draw in order to really pick up on it. See what they're actually doing. Like if I could watch them, how their hand moves when they're doing these. I might pick up on something like that. But that's something to pay attention to. Like you can definitely like see, like they're kind of using their pencil to sculpt a little bit when they're doing like limbs and bodies. So they're not picking up the pencil. I'm just going back over the limb and stuff and like elaborating on it in little chunks. That kind of seems to help sort of wrap your head around thinking sculpturally about the limbs a little bit. So maybe that is a habit we kind of want to practice more. I definitely would want to talk to Ethan or other people that draw this way so I can learn a little bit more insight into it. So I'm trying a few limbs kind of like that right now. I am trying to think of them as being like simple 3D shapes that I'm adding some anatomical detail to. From what I can tell, like I think like his first pass, the limb kind of looks a little bit geometric, and then they add more contours to it to make it like they do kind of like a pass on it, like where it's kind of like this, or they actually do kind of do what Ethan's doing there, where they kind of work out some geometric shapes, and then they go through and then they kind of do like this kind of contour to kind of unify it stuff with some anatomy detail or whatever. That looks kind of like what they're doing. Yeah, so Monday we're going to be continuing doing this stuff and getting more mileage in the same methods that we're doing today. Wednesday next week I actually want us doing muscle forms of the torso. So last week we did bone forms of the torso, so this week, Wednesday, let's make it a date for that. And I swear to God, one of these days we're going to get to hands. I'll just figure out when to kind of insert those in. Probably after we get more of the body stuff worked out, so we have somewhere to put the hands, you know?
I failed my task of doing daily hands completely.
That's fine. We'll be able to reboot that in the near future. So let's see here. I'm gonna maybe copy paste like this one a couple times. Over here. Alright, so let's see. How can I reposition the stuff here? Well, I can do one with them where they're facing the back. Pelvis, little buttocks wedge right there, the top of the belt, top of the buttocks, somewhere in there. And then they're kind of like their bodies tilted backwards. Here's one of the limb sockets. And the head's doing this. We're gonna be at this for another hour, about. So maybe see if we can do another set of time poses here, and maybe try to like create some of these freehand, create some of these torso wedges, these torso shapes freehand. I'm already starting to kind of see with the eye that Ethan has doing this stuff for like possibilities of what I can use to invent. Like, look, I'm starting to look at these torsos and immediately see it in my mind's eye what I want to draw with them. What is this music? Sound like off. There's a lot of synthwave that just sounds like off-brand Daft Punk, doesn't it? Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere with this. This is pretty good practice, I would say. It's going to take a lot of effort for us to get fluent with this and other stuff. It's going to help us get up to drawing speed. It's not to say that any of us can't like achieve Kiku and Ryu's level, but it's going to take a lot of effort on all of our parts, myself included, to get there. See a little bit of random invention here real quick. I think another reason why he goes over the line a whole lot is to darken up stuff he wants to emphasize. It's another big thing. there's less ambiguity. Like this is kind of sketchy, scribbly thing. Way I'm approaching things right here is kind of unhelpful for me, I think. Whereas like, let me bring up him again. That Comic-Con thing was really good. Oh, it was a really good video showing off some of that drawing method. You can see him going over like the same line a few times, the same thing a few times, to kind of true up the structure a little bit. I think that's supposed to be Steve Vaughn over there on the left. Yeah, I really want to see how they draw, because like this kind of heavy-handedness that I have to the way I use my pencil. I want to maybe like kind of see. There might be a better way for me to approach how the light touch that I use. Maybe the answer is I need to use a lighter touch instead of like scraping in with my lines. That might be it. Yeah, I think that seems to be it. Just use a much lighter touch, and think kind of sculpturally.
Maybe try drawing with either a heavy pencil, a soft pencil, or a ballpoint pen would help.
Yeah.
Because you have to. You can't. Yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah, here I'm gonna go quick restroom break. Alexa, how much time left on timer?
You have 5 minutes and 50 seconds left on your 30-minute timer.
Goody. Let's maybe do some time poses. Let's maybe do like 2 sets of time poses for the end of the class. Okie dokie. Let me think a little bit about what we should do.
I think this inventing new poses from the same shape is going really well.
Yeah, when I was up just now, I was thinking about that. Maybe I want to keep people going on that. So let's save. If we're going to be doing time figure poses, we'll save that for Monday. Yeah, because Monday we're going to be working from photographs, so we'll be doing drawovers of photographs, and that would also. I think Ethan actually does do some time poses stuff in here too in the video. Kind of like that. No, he does drawovers, but that's fine. And then as we're kind of wrapping our heads around the mechanics of how this works, I think drawovers is what we're going to be doing mostly. I would encourage people to watch the video because there's a lot of stuff he does to play with the stuff. Like, you can see him copy pasting the limb and repositioning it in the different spots. He does draw the head at different angles here. Although he did copy paste a little bit. Yeah, no, he copy pasted the base form of the head, but then he like added the eyes and the mouth and the side plane at different angles for his copy paste. He drew very different ones here. So like, this is not a one-off thing that we're doing right now. This is a long-term prospect, this approach to drawing, because there's a lot of other things that he has, other tips that he's got in his videos that we're also going to try to digest. This is the one that we're going to be concentrating on for now, for the next week at least. If you struggle with 3D shapes, by the way, and I see a few people who are drawing in Magma who very evidently are struggling with understanding 3D shapes, please, if you're fairly new to drawing, please, to get the maximum value out of my classes, start doing the lessons on the drawbox.com site, starting with lesson 0. Read the text and do the homework for it. That is your, if you are pretty new to drawing and if you struggle with 3D form and stuff and draftsmanship in general, please use the drawbox.com site. And that is my homework for you for this week. Because you're going to be struggling to keep up with the stuff we're doing here unless you're practicing your spatial awareness and your spatial structuring of understanding how things occupy 3D space. And the only way to do that is to get like practice mileage and fluency in it. And the Drawbox site streamlines. Here it is right here. The Drawbox site streamlines your learning of that stuff. They also have a Discord that you can join right here that you can participate in lessons with. So this next week I'm planning on finding, maybe not during my Twitch streams, but I'll be starting to do some of these myself. I'll probably like integrate them into some of my warm-up exercises or something. But I want to really like dig through this and like give it the seriousness it deserves. Yeah, I strongly recommend anybody here, even if you're a little bit more advanced, to be doing these too. So I'm gonna be putting my money where my mouth is and starting next week. Alexa, stop. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you're having trouble in Firefox or whatever, you should switch to Chrome to do Magma Studio in.
They should be using that because it does not actually support the API on anything that's not Chromium based.
Yeah. So I'm gonna save this PNG.
Also, pro tip: if your line pressure is not working in Magma Studio, go into your driver settings and make sure that Windows Ink is checked because it won't work otherwise.
So I'm gonna do Nala a favor. I'm gonna hide my layers and stuff. Or Nala, do you want to? Nala, I've hidden all my stuff. You now have now I can use the rest of the drawing board. I'm gonna kick myself in the layer. And I'm gonna give you. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna assign the reference layer to you now. So now you can hide that as you see fit, and you can keep drawing and keep practicing on here and import new stuff. I'm going to be popping over to, let's see here. I'm going to pop around and see what people are drawing. But yeah, like the abstract right here. This this is a little bit what I'm talking about with, like, you need a little bit more understanding of 3D form. Because you're basically gonna have a bad time unless you're practicing draftsmanship with 3D form stuff from Drawbox. But I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine. The fact that you're trying this stuff is good. But like, for example, I can see you trying to do a side plane right here on that head, but you don't really understand how that works. Like, the side plane on a head is basically like a you almost kind of like slice off the side of an ellipse of a head. So like there's this sort of chunk that comes off a sphere like that. And that can be a little hard to kind of wrap your head around a bit. Although the shorthand for it is often they'll just put it like a little circle there or something. But you need to kind of like wrap your head around how stuff works in 3D space, and the only way to do that is to practice your spatial awareness. And an excellent way to do that is the Drawbox site, and to do the lessons there. Like you can see this head that I drew. I'm thinking about this three-dimensionally as I'm drawing it, and how 3D forms work in space. And I can prove that I have a pretty decent understanding of how 3D forms of the head work in space because haha, I did this. So in the future I'm going to be using animation as a tool for more figure drawing stuff, but I mean, like, this was an excellent exercise right here. I would say that I think that what we're doing right now with these torsos could segue into doing some animation test stuff of like animating the different poses of the limbs and the body changing and stuff. But for now, I want people playing with the mechanics of this thing. As per Ethan Becker. But you need to be clear and decisive with what you're doing, and you need to really kind of understand with clarity what you're trying to describe. Like, for example, let me grab this real quick. I'll pull this into my drawing app. Do a quick demo here. So there is a little bit of an attempt to kind of understand the 3D form, but the person who did this is kind of struggling, I can see. So not to worry, I'm going to do a little demonstration here. So as far as like the head goes, you want to usually start with like a sphere or some kind of simple shape that you can think about in 3D space, and then you can usually use like the side plane of the head to define the position of the head. Or you can use like the eye line. You actually usually use the eye line first. Like the eye line is usually like an ellipse going through the face like that. I'm going to position the head about here, I want to say. So got a center line for the front of the face. Get this little triangle wedge right here. This is going to be like kind of roughly the same angle as this. So it's a straight line going down the front of the face. This one's a straight line going down the side plane of the head. The top of the ear and the top of the brow is going to be about there. So if we think of the head as like a cube, it's going to be something like this, or like as a cube bounding box around the head, because there's going to be like a plane, this little curve here around the lips of the faces. There's like a plane change as if it's like the front and the side of a cube. the ears about here. Also, upshots are really tricky. So doing this without any reference to an upshot is going to be inherently kind of tough. I struggle with upshots. As you can see, I'm kind of faking this a bit, but this is a little bit more kind of defined in its spatial direction. So at least I have enough to decipher with in case I need to fix this, which I definitely do because upshots are fucking a nightmare. Alright, so getting down to the body here. So let's start with like that simple shape that we've been using. So among other things, like so we got these kind of rounded edges to the corners of the shoulders, and then we got this kind of peak up here, and then this shoulder is going to be a little higher here because that one's closer towards us in the basic form of the torso. And it's very important that we get those kind of pinched sides right here. And I do like that how you did that like plane change here. Fortunately down here you got a little kind of confused, I think. But you can look at like Ethan's stuff for examples of kind of how to handle that a bit. So let's see here. Maybe try to invent, maybe just do this. So you want to try to be decisive with what you're drawing. I'm working on trying to be decisive with how I draw more lately because I have a lot of wishy-washiness to my sketching. But if you get something wrong, you can always like fix it. It's better to get something wrong confidently because then it'll be clear. If something is wrong, then it'll be very clear why it's wrong and what you need to do to fix it, without like a whole bunch of like tangled mess sketching that's really hard to sort through. So I want people to treat the ability to make mistakes as if they're running around in the nude, streaking basically. I want you to get over the self-consciousness of being worried about making mistakes. When you're doing this stuff, you're streaking basically. You should be parading all your flaws and all your dangly bits out in the open, basically, so to speak. Don't actually draw in the nude, unless you want to, in the privacy of your own home, I suppose. But anyway, so like we got the center line. So we got the center line here, and it looks like you were trying to handle like the little kind of inwards belly tilt direction there. And you were correct to notify the side plane of the body. I think I actually got a little something wrong here myself. This should be more like a cube base, a kind of a cubed off base right here. Maybe more like this. But then there's that little pinch on either side here that needs to be happening. Let's take a look at Ethan's poses. So I'm still learning this method myself. Yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit more rounded side, and this one will be a little more pinched, I'd say. Just because of the angle of the body, I believe. And then of course we have this shoulder socket in here. Then you can start like adding limb stuff in. But I want people to be completely, I want people to be like streaking with their flaws, so to speak. So because like if you are unashamed to share your flaws, that means that people can identify what those flaws are for you. Well, first off, you can identify the flaws a little easier when you go back and look at your work and start self-evaluating. But other people that are evaluating your work can sort through, but they don't have to sort through a tangled mess of stuff. They can more easily identify what looks off, what's off proportion, and what needs to be adjusted. And also that means there's less work that you have to do to fix something. If you've been relatively clear and more decisive in your choices and made more confident errors. So I'm not talking about, when I say making confident errors, I'm not talking about like Dunning-Kruger effect where you become overconfident. You should stay humble. But you should realize that you should make a decision and commit to it. Even if that decision is, and accept that often the decisions are going to be wrong without you realizing it, and you won't see that. But you want to make the best decision that you are capable of making and exercise your decision-making process. That's part of what going to the art gym kind of means. You're just making lots of little and big decisions.
And don't beat yourself over the results.
Nope. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. I mean, like, yeah, there's a healthy way to kind of pressure yourself to improve. But never be hard on yourself. Realize that everyone has plateaus where they stall out. Sometimes there's like some kind of a missing piece of the puzzle that you're not quite seeing yet that you need to figure out. Other times you just need to realize that it's going to take time for this stuff to sink in, and that repetitively practicing the right things are eventually going to sink in for you. But if you do feel yourself like starting to plateau, you definitely want to talk to other artists about that, because every artist, even like you're the best artist, the best of the best artists, go through the same shit. Like Ki-Hoon Ryu, I guarantee you he's gone through the same thing numerous times in his life. Like virtually every there's any artist who claims they've never gone through this sort of thing is probably lying their ass off. It's just like a normal part of the learning process at any stage, where you have periods of plateauing and burnout. And periods where you need to process things. And some people process at different paces than others. The good news is that the further you get into this stuff, the more things kind of flatten out. So people who have a better starting point than you did, eventually like both you and they start to plateau at a roughly around the same level. So that means that like you could get up potentially close up to Ki-Hoon Ryu's level eventually. And you'll be meeting him closer to his plateaus over time. But that is gonna take a lot of time and a lot of effective use of your time and effort, and also like figuring out how you learn, how you process things over time. A big thing I want people to take away from this is try to learn how you learn. Try to figure out what study techniques and stuff work for you. I would say that another thing I want to push people towards is I want to push people towards enrolling in classes that are in art classes that are worth the money, that meet them at their current skill level. That's what I'm doing. I'm planning on taking an analytical figure drawing class, which is a fantastic course for beginners and advanced people. Analytical figure drawing classes are usually offered by CGMA. CGMA, Brainstorm Academy, Concept Design Academy, and Gnomon, and lots of other places. And analytical figure drawing is an approach to figure drawing that is kind of based on similar things to what we're doing right here, but much more elaborate. And it's an approach to figure drawing that is very heavily structural based with, of course, a gesture foundation that is all about being able to invent and reposition the figure however you need in a kind of an ordered mechanical way. So you have like kind of a mannequinized breakdown of how the figure. What's that?
Is that a class you can take over the internet, or is it? Okay.
I'll share some of them. So, I fucking hate that arm over here. This little back end arm right here just really bugs me. I'm doing this without reference, and this is invention, so like some of my flaws are starting to come out with my stiff posing.
I think Mark Brunet actually has a lot of his classes on QBrush, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. And he was one of the people that I recommend checking out the video of, like, how to study anatomy. I would say that you don't necessarily need him for that, for the anatomy specific things. Like, you can jump from him to like into like Proco videos or some other anatomy instructional videos that are free on YouTube. After like viewing that thing where he shows you how you're supposed to study. So there's also a Proco video on how to study anatomy too. Yeah, see, like when you have like the cool thing is, like, if you have a torso, you can kind of extrapolate enough information to create a full figure however you want. So I want people, like, the homework I'm gonna give for people is to keep doing drawovers, playing with this stuff. Watch Ethan's video some more times. Also watch the other two videos that I showed you. And for the newcomers, I'm gonna strongly recommend that you dig into Drawbox as much as you're able to. Take the Drawbox stuff slowly and at your own pace, and I do recommend enrolling in the Drawbox Discord. By the way, when I do the Drawbox stuff next week, I'm going to be participating in the Drawbox Discord because they have tiered lesson and critique sessions that you can only access if you've done and basically passed the lessons. Like, they don't let you move up to the different ranks for critique and feedback in the Drawbox Discord unless you put in the work.
Are you gonna start from lesson 1 again?
I'm gonna probably start from lesson 0.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
Yeah, I'm gonna start from lesson 0, my dude. I'm gonna make sure that I do them right.
Lesson 1 like changed the way I draw. Like, was probably the most important class I ever took. I mean, probably just because how it affected everything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to too. I already know that it's gonna definitely affect the way that I approach drawing stuff, for sure.
Yeah,
and that's going to come in huge handy for the storyboard stuff that I'm going to be getting into next month.
Yeah, but I still haven't gotten past the second lesson. I never completed it, so it would be a good opportunity to get back into it.
Yeah, I think doing like everything on there would be like would exponentially help everything else we do.
I think I might make it a point to do that every Sunday morning and just start doing a Drawbox lesson.
That might be not a bad idea. Like, we can do the Sunday morning Drawbox thing tomorrow or something. Actually, I need to be somewhere tomorrow, so I won't be able to do it tomorrow, but I'll figure out a day, a regular day that might be a Drawbox meetup in our Discord. Yeah, the power of being able of like having a simple method that you can imitate is it gives you a lot more confidence in making decisions. It's like instead of trying to search for the method that you're going to be using, you know what method it is, and now it's just a matter of like practicing your aim. It's like you've been given a gun or a bow and arrow or something, and you've just been now you're just being allowed to do archery practice basically, instead of having to build the bow yourself or build the gun yourself or something. Like you have the device that's going to work for you for this. This figure looks like it's about to fall over the side a little bit. Also, my figures are inherently, I know for a fact, and I've had to kind of accept this, for my figures are going to inherently be looking very stiff compared to like, you know, fucking Ki-Hoon Ryu, monsters like Ki-Hoon Ryu and stuff, because I'm still trying to understand the structural stuff and how they play rhythms against each other and so on, and it's just, it's just going to be over time that I'll eventually develop fluency where I can play with this stuff more freely. Like you saw how energetic that little selfie thing that he did was, where he put a lot of spirit and energy into that. Like that's kind of what I want to eventually tap into. But I want to do it confidently with when I'm fluent in these drawing devices and stuff from practice. So we need to have a disciplined play, if that makes any sense, when we play with these. Like we want to play with these drawing tools and stuff that are going to help us, so we can like playfully put together energetic, fun shit like that. That's like rooted in a pretty damn good understanding of how this stuff is. So that's no longer about like wrestling with how stuff is drawn. It's about it, you're thinking at a higher level because that stuff is so fluent by that point. It starts to become about the energy and the pacing of the scene and stuff, and the wildness of the posing, because you're so practiced at the other stuff. And we're only going to get there by continuing to practice and continuing to iterate on what we're doing, looking to other artists so we can kind of model and course correct the direction that we're heading. Looking to reality, photographs or people in the real world as like our anchor point and point of reference to riff on. And building on and standing on the shoulders of people who created these drawing devices that help us break down and make sense of things. I think one thing I'm going to be trying to practice this week is trying to get the energy and the confidence into my drawing, even if it's wrong, that like people like Ki-Hoon Ryu put into their work. That's going to mean that I'm going to have to like have a lot of his work on display. We'll work print similar like on shows that he's worked on display, so I can tap into that. And Ethan Becker is essentially like putting for free online, like a lot of the techniques that these guys use to break down and make sense of stuff. So looking at Ethan's stuff, it's going to help. We have a couple pieces of the puzzle already. We have that face wedge, which I've just used right here. You also use that on the mouth here. And use that on the eyes as well. And the nose. So right now I'm just kind of playing with some of these mechanics. I'm sort of thinking about how Kiyu and Brio approaches stuff a little bit back in my head. Thinking about some of the drawing devices that we're building on top of, and some of what I want to try to accomplish this next month when I'm in storyboarding and animation classes that I'm taking. What time is it? It is 5:12. So what we're gonna do in about like 15 minutes or so, we're going to put on a Amazon Prime watch party. I'm thinking we're probably just gonna watch Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. Let's start with a good episode. There was one episode that somebody suggested last time that was really
good. Episode 10 of season 1, which is the Blue Spirit.
Yeah. Let's put that on after class. Then we can take a look at that. I probably won't pause it through it, but I'm going to be like yoinking stuff. So in order to legally watch this, you have to have an Amazon Prime account. If you do, and if it's linked to your Twitch account, you'll be able to watch with us. Really misshapen head here. I don't know. Yeah, the only way that you're going to improve is by making your mistakes out in the open, and I've kind of learned that I have to accept that. Once you accept that, then you can start improving because you won't be holding back on your fuck ups. If you're not holding back on your fuck ups, then like I said, it's very clear how you to people who are looking at you, who know what you need to do to change things, what you need to either study or what you need to either do to fix the thing that you're fucking up. Like, don't be timid, don't be afraid to show your shitty work. Sorry. To show your work to like appropriate feedback places. Like I wouldn't necessarily go to like an ultra uber pro artist and show like your super duper beginner stuff necessarily. I would save that for when you've kind of gotten some good stuff under your belt and you really feel like you can get a much more like value critique. But like artists that you can kind of tell would be more open to giving feedback to beginners or newer people. Like try to approach those, or like appropriate artist communities like Ethan Becker's server or my server or other art. There's lots of art learning Discord, art and animation learning Discords and other places you could post stuff to. Sometimes like conventions, some artists are more approachable about that stuff. It's like you can even ask them like, hey, I'm pretty new, and I'm how comfortable are you comfortable with giving a little critique on maybe suggesting stuff I could study based on how my work looks, and they might be able to help you. You can usually feel stuff out. If somebody is somebody who, usually if it's somebody who also teaches classes, you are usually pretty good with asking them. But I mean, you can honestly like get peer, if you have like peers that you are friendly with, you can usually just ask them straight up, like, yeah, like I want to, yeah. Just try not to be like really desperate about it. Just try to be like easygoing about it. Listen to people. Don't try to talk over them. You know, when they give feedback. Don't like say like, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Like, don't avoid doing that. Just like listen and pay close attention to when someone gives you feedback and stuff.
Yeah, don't put yourself down. Also, it's very uncomfortable when someone puts themselves.
Yeah, do not put yourself down, because that sounds like fishing. That sounds like fishing for compliments, and that also sounds like nagging on yourself. Nagging on yourself is like, you don't want to have don't have Dunning-Kruger effect, and don't be overly hard on yourself, because both will be detrimental to your learning. Dunning-Kruger effect is where you have more confidence in your abilities than you are actually capable of. It's a like lack of self-awareness over confidence. And the thing is like Dunning-Kruger effect is something that happens to everyone to a certain extent at certain times. So you want to kind of err on the side of humility. Like, there's almost always going to be something that you're not quite seeing or understanding yet, even when you become really advanced, that you want to humble yourself towards. So always stay humble, no matter what level you're at. Stay humble, but also don't neg on yourself, because if you're negative on yourself, that sounds like you're fishing for compliments, which is cheesy and shitty. That also makes you start to like believe your own negativity, and get even more timid about sharing your stuff. And it also like, it comes across sort of like you've given up a little bit. Like, you shouldn't be thinking, oh, I'm so shitty. Please tear apart my horrible work. No, well, I mean, it's fine to say that. It's not that big of a deal to say something like that. But like you want to approach it like, I'm pretty new. I've got a lot to learn. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. But I'm gonna see day by day what little things I can pick up on and learn. And there's often going to be a lot of times when I'm gonna run into stuff that is more complicated than I realized, or that there's like several missing stairs to what I'm doing that I didn't notice before. And everyone's gonna go. I'm gonna be going through that like heck, because I've been self-practicing it's like self-teaching for like the last year and a half or so. And I've been out of school for a long ass while too. So there's when I get into like analytical figure drawing and other stuff, the instructor is really going to have to help me unlearn a lot of bad habits that have built up. And I'm gonna inherently have to humble myself in order to make the gains that I need to make when I get involved in classes like those. Jesus, that fucking head. Frankenstein monster thing going on there. So we're gonna go over and we're gonna start the Amazon watch party pretty soon. It's about 8:20. Cool. Let me see. I have to open up my dashboard. I'm gonna restart the stream real quick before we get into that. But before I cut this off, I want to see if there's any questions people have. Are you guys clear on like so like the optional homework I have is for people to do a turnaround. Maybe you can use like a torso form like what we did here, because rotating a torso like this would be pretty easy. In fact, I might consider doing that as a demo next Monday or Wednesday. Monday if I do it. But I mean, like rotating a simple shape like this, hella easy. Look at that! Look at that! I mean, it's not that hard to like figure out what the what this is probably going to look like in profile. It's going to be thinner. It's going to be angled like this kind of thing, because that's how like the body works. So like the pelvis is tilted up that way and the torso is tilted that way. But this like simple shape, as long as we keep it like in the roughly the same proportions, keep the pinch lines about the same spot. It's a very, very simple shape right here. Then we can infer like a 3/4 view from this and stuff. Honestly, you just need like these three poses right here in order to do a turnaround. Why 3 poses instead of like 5? Because this is just going to be a copy paste of the same pose right there. This like for example, this is front right here. Something like that. And then this would be back right there. Same thing here, like well, that's profile. This is front. Then this is back. Little triangle buttocks there with shoulder blades. Then this is front right here. And then you just flip this, and you flip this and stuff to create the additional in-betweens. So yeah, that's let me just do a quick review. If you want to do a turnaround, you need to start with three poses. Poses. Front. Front. Profile. 3/4. 2. Add 2 poses. It would be back and back. So front 3/4, back 3/4. 2, 3. 3. Flip the poses into a turn for each drawing has 4 frames. That's what I did for this. Each of these drawings has 4 frames. Each of these drawings before I in-betweened it had 4 frames. So these have 2 frames now because I added in-betweens to them. But like this had 4 frames, this had 4 frames, this had 4 frames when I first put it in there. Before I added, this is like an in-between, this is an in-between, this is an in-between. The in-betweens are what you add in next. Add and flip. And flip. Because then you only need to make one drawing and flip it. In-betweens. That's the formula for a turnaround. 32 frame turnaround. Use onion skin, and turn off onion skin to roll and flip. check. So you use the do that these two things. You use onion skin. You also turn off onion skin to roll and flip. These are two things that you're going to be using throughout doing that. By the way, this is like a quick and dirty little note thing here. Feel free to refer to the recording of this later. By the way. But you use this to check. Constantly use to check check the turn. If anything looks wonky, or if it's not really smooth, or it doesn't look 3D enough or something like that, you can find that by so two things. Turn on onion skinning so you can see like the before and after right here. So you can this is helpful for when you're doing in-betweens for like positioning the line and stuff, and also like positioning your keys and stuff. But also you need to turn off the onion skin and do this. You either do like rolling and flipping, where you go frame by frame like this, and you roll back and forth through the thing to see if it's working. Then what you do is you roll and flip. You'll add a little bit right here. Roll, flip, add a little bit right there. Roll and flip and stuff. Look around the drawing for like things that you can kind of correct and fix. And you're like actively rolling and flipping through it and stuff. And occasionally you'll turn on and off the onion skin to check to like make sure that you're putting stuff in the right position. But you often want to turn off onion skin so you can concentrate on the individual drawings and just roll and flip. And you keep it alive. When you're animating, you're thinking fourth dimension. That means your drawings have to be thought of fourth dimensionally as you're doing them. Do you use Photoshop to animate the homework? You can use any drawing app that you like that does animation. Blender is free, by the way. OpenTunes is free. You can use anything that is convenient and helpful for you to do the animation. But this will be due next Saturday. You can do a head, you can do a torso, you can do like a simple thing. Just do something that you can do the best you can with. Try to give it the time and effort it deserves. If you fuck it up, if you have a bad start and stuff, try doing another one maybe. If you learn how not to do it from doing it wrong, when you start doing one of these wrong, do that. BAM animation. BAM animation has a thing about turnarounds right here. So if you want to see a really slick, polished video on character turnarounds right here, there's a BAM animation video right here on turnarounds. This is the whoops. There's actually a lot of great stuff on BAM animation. Looks like they've been doing a lot. Okay, they haven't done anything recently. That kind of sucks. But you can see they started with somebody else's work and then they created a turnaround of it. Let me see if here we go at the end. You can see they created like a model sheet, and then they can do a turnaround here of the two different designs of the character. Yeah, their video on the turnaround stuff. They've got a time lapse of the turnaround, and they've also got a video on how they made the turnaround, on how to make turnarounds and stuff. Yeah, BAM animation is really good for that too. So if you want some more instructions on turnarounds, those are helpful too. But that's my simple formula for making quick turnarounds, like right here. Start with 3 poses. You add 2 poses. Flip the poses to create a turn. Each of the drawings has 4 frames. Then you turn it. Each of the drawings initially has 4 frames. Then you add the in-betweens to make it. Each frame is 2 drawings after you add the in-betweens. Yeah. So that'll be due next Saturday. In addition, Next Monday we have figure drawing stuff due. I'm gonna assign some new figure drawing then. For now, folks, just keep practicing what you've been doing here, and if you are working on the figure drawing homework that's due Monday, you can keep doing that too. Mind you, what we did today kind of counts as that too. Provided that if you've built out invented figures and stuff, that count. Some of that counts. I will count that at least like around 25 or so of those being poses that you practice through the week. I mean, most of what we've done in these classes has been like stuff for the homework that's due Monday. But anyway, God, these are really shitty limbs. Jesus. Oh well, it's just sketching. So anyway, we're going to be calling it a wrap, but we're going to be switching over to Avatar: The Last Airbender. But before I go, again, I want to ask one more time, is there any questions people have?
This is just a reminder you told me to give you to give me the mod privileges over on the other server.
Yeah, I'll take care of that a little bit later. So there's not any other classes going on Ethan's server, so we're free to just stick around in here and keep drawing, honestly. So I'm gonna actually restart the stream, but we'll be watching this. So thank you all. Don't go away because we're gonna watch Avatar and keep sketching. I'll make maybe some fresh Magma Studio stuff that we can sketch on together and stuff for this little kind of doodle session, or we'll just keep kind of playing with stuff. Alright, so restart the stream now.